I sure hope you brought hard cash and not produce. Corn here is sold by the jug and not by the ear. I've been taking produce in exchange for the ardent, but I am full up. Produce ain't money, at least not in my place anymore. Now, some of the boys over there, they got ideas on how to get money, and it might behoove you to lend them an ear. And, oh, I sure don't mean corn.
Boys, I'm in a fix. My farm's producing so much I don't know what to do.
Abundance is prosperity, is it not?
In better times, maybe. But right now, everybody's crop prosperous and cash poor.
Well, nobody in their right mind is going to take corn for payment when they got ears coming out of the 2 ears they already got.
Very punny.
Sorry, Sheriff.
Raleigh Day and some others are printing up notes with assigned values.
Frederick, those paper notes are good for only one thing. And considering the abundance of corn husks right now, it's going to be a while till they realize any value.
We can't just sit here and wait for something to drop in our laps. Boys, I'm building an Orleans boat, and I plan to take it downriver.
To New Orleans, it's 1,500 miles down and 1,500 miles back.
But the money they have there is real and not paper. The only way we can make cash now is to sell it to boats heading downriver, and what they give us isn't much.
At least it's cash.
Frederick, I know you're young and in love, but try to use some sense and maybe you'll make a few dollars. Those boats have to make a profit. They aren't paying you the full amount they get for your goods down there. You're doing all the work, and they're making all the profit.
We have to make some cash. Julius Varen made a fortune in that lower country trade.
He died down there, too.
Heathcote Pickett made the trip more than 20 times, successful every time.
He's a legend, making all those trips back on foot by himself.
And just exactly how did he do that by himself, Frederick Golay? By doing the Virginia reel up and down the Devil's Backbone from Natchez to Nashville through the Chickasaw and Choctaw lands? No. He did it because he'd been captured and raised by the Shawnee. Those Indian ways kept him alive.
Could have taken the steamboat back.
Frederick, you're truly an innocent. That lower country is not for the faint of heart.
Oh, plenty of folks start, but some don't come back. I believe your wife's brother is among the latter, Jacob Weaver.
True. Henry left for New Orleans last year, and we have not seen him since.
That alone ought to tell you something.
I still think the risk is worth taking. I've already got a 70-foot poplar tree cut. My son John and I have been whipsawing planks. The boat's already a building.
I thought a boat was a boat, not a building.
Well, between us, we got enough produce to fill it. And when we get down there, we sell what we bring, and then we sell the boat for even more cash. The town of New Orleans is made out of old boats.
Have you ever made this trip before?
I have. And it's not easy.
Not easy. You leave too early with the river running fast and choked with cakes of ice. You'll get caught between those cakes, mashed up and sunk. Try running the river at night. You'll run into the heads of islands all tangled up with snags and sawyers. Next thing you know, the bottom of the boat's gone. You're keeping permanent company with the catfish.
You're not too carried away by this venture, are you?
Caleb Bounce, the next time I get carried away, it's going to be by the angels and not the mosquitoes that suck you dry when you're trying to sleep.
Pretty set in your ways, aren't you?
Call it the wisdom of age, Frederick Golay. Besides, I saw enough of that lower country and New Orleans with Jackson during the war. And if I never see it again, it'd still be too soon.
I agree with you. The county prosecutor, Stephen C. Stevens, he was down there the same time as you. Took a British musket ball to the side of his head. He's never been the same since.
Well, that was during the war. Things down there change.
No, they don't, Frederick. Now, you throw filth into the Ohio, it'll eventually wind its way into the Gulf. And the catch basin for all of it is New Orleans. Yes, Jacob, some do make money. and others run face to face with those who will haunt their nightmares forever. Stay home with your Miss Marguerite.
I got a wife in Louisville, another in New Orleans. Hey, going down to Shawneetown, gonna see my Indian queen.
Of all the taverns up and down the whiskey chute, I hear that this one is the finest. Landlord, a bottle of your finest! And be quick about it.
No one talks to me that way, friend.
Maybe you should do something about it, friend. So good to see you, my friend.
I thought you were dead and in hell.
Well, heaven wouldn't have me, and the devil was afraid I'd take over. So now here I am back to haunt you.
Boys, meet Joseph Bousseau. He's a legend up and down the river. He's poled the Ohio, the Monongahela, and twice floated down the Mississippi to New Orleans.
I've even taken that river north through Prairie du Chien in the Wisconsin Territory.
Why would any man want to go there?
To bring provisions to the garrisons.
That's an earful.
And then I floated down to St. Louis, and from there I rode Shank's mare to here in 7 days.
Shank's mare?
Means he walked.
He's poled the Cumberland and the Tennessee, and the Kanawha as well.
Jacob Everston, who sponsored that Kanawha trip, refused me my whiskey ration, which necessitated me taking it on my own.
How so?
Well, I brought along a gimlet, and when Everston wasn't looking, I pried up a hoop, I bored a hole in the barrel, I filled a coffee pot with whiskey, and then I lowered the hoop back down again.
I never heard of you.
Son, if you gotta tell him you is, then you ain't.
Who's your finely dressed friend there, Joseph Bousseau?
Name's Abraham Levi.
Haven't seen you in Vevey before.
Yeah, I'm afraid I just got off the steamboat, my friend.
It's sheriff, not friend, Mr. Levi.
Very well, Sheriff. I met Mr. Bousseau at the end of the chute. A man of his stature and fame deserves to be treated to the best.
How do you plan to accomplish that, Abraham Levi?
Well, through the use of cold, hard cash. His bottle's on me. And you boys drink what you'd like as well.
Where did you get cash?
Made plenty of it in the lower country.
New Orleans?
There and other places.
Well, we're thinking about fixing up a boat and heading down to New Orleans.
What are you boys packing?
1,600 bushel of grain, chickens, turkey, smoked pork, barrels of apples, and sacked potatoes.
Sounds like it could be a profitable venture. Now, if you boys are already floating down the river, you might want to stop first and sell some of those goods first at Natchez under the hill.
What would you know about Natchez under the hill?
I know I made plenty of money down there. You boys can too, especially you, young man.
Me?
The look of future prosperity is written all over you.
That clinches it. I'm going too.
How do you plan to do that, Frederick? You raised no crop.
I'll buy it from folks hereabout on credit. Then I'll repay my creditors with the profits I make on the trip.
Gentlemen, please sit down. Apologies, but have you seen my husband? It's been so long since we have had word. I'm feared he is dead. My son and I need him home.
What would make someone like you think he would be somewhere like this?
We've looked up and down the street, and no one has seemed to have any word. All that's left to do is to gain passage to New Orleans and search there.
Why New Orleans?
Well, it's the only place where ready cash might be available. Might this tavern have some rooms for Lent?
I do, but not for single females with little white-headed responsibilities in tow.
Ma'am, I'd be happy to assist you. Let me take you to the Shikun Saloon. They have rooms there.
Oh, young sir, you are too kind. We thank you.
Well, no thanks needed, ma'am.
I smell something, Joseph, and it ain't just your clothes.
So do I. Your game of badger.
Mm-hmm.